It started with a simple vibration, one text message that changed everything. Yandy had been calm, collected, focused on her family and her future, until she saw Karlie's name light up Mendeecees' phone. At first, she wanted to believe it was nothing. A friendly chat, maybe business. But the more she scrolled, the colder her heart grew. The words were too familiar, too flirty, too dangerous. In a city like Atlanta, loyalty is rare and betrayal travels fast. Within hours, rumors spread from salons to studios, from group chats to camera crews. When Yandy finally confronted Karlie, the air cracked like thunder. What happened next wasn't scripted. It was raw, real, and explosive. Because in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you can play with fame, you can play with fire, but you never, ever play with another woman's husband. Atlanta nights are never quiet. Not when the cameras are rolling, and not when secrets start to leak. The evening had started off calm. Yandy and Mendeecees were hosting a private dinner at a rooftop lounge downtown, a celebration of their latest business move. The mood was right, soft jazz, glittering skyline, champagne glasses clinking, laughter echoing. Yandy looked flawless, confident, happy. For once, the chaos of love and hip-hop felt far away. But sometimes, peace is just the pause before the storm. As the guests mingled, Mendeecees stepped aside to take a quick call. He set his phone on the table, screen down, unaware of the silent war that was about to begin. Yandy reached for her glass, and in that moment, the phone buzzed once, twice, then again. She glanced down casually, until her eyes froze. The name glowing on the screen, Karlie read. Yandy blinked. Karlie, of all people? She hesitated. Maybe it was business. They all knew each other. They'd done appearances together before. But then the messages started popping up in real time. One after another. You looked good last night. Don't tell Yandy I said that. You always know how to make me laugh. Her stomach dropped. The sounds of the party faded, replaced by the pounding in her chest. Every word on that screen twisted the knife a little deeper. She looked around the room. Karlie was there across the floor, laughing with Rashida, completely unaware that the clock was ticking down to her own explosion. Yandy tried to breathe, but the air felt heavier with each second. This wasn't just disrespect. This was betrayal, and it was happening right under her nose. Mendeecees returned, smiling like nothing was wrong. Everything okay, babe? Yandy's voice was calm to calm. Yeah, everything's fine. But her eyes said something else, cold, sharp, burning. She handed him his phone. Screen up. You might want to read your little fan messages. The color drained from his face as he saw Karlie's name. Yo, wait, this ain't what it looks like. Yandy stepped closer, her voice low but cutting. Then tell me, Mendeecees, what does it look like? Because from where I'm standing, Karlie's acting real comfortable texting my husband. The room grew quiet. Conversations stopped. Rashida turned her head, sensing the tension. Jock looked at Karlie, then back at Yandy. The cameras caught every flicker of emotion. Karlie's smile vanished the moment she realized what was happening. Hold up, what's going on? She asked, nervous laughter breaking through her voice. Yandy took a step toward her, fire in her tone. Don T, play dumb, Karlie. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Karlie frowned, trying to keep her composure. Girl, I text a lot of people. It ain't that deep. Not that deep? Yandy snapped, her voice rising. You flirting with my husband behind my back, and you think it's not that deep. Everyone froze. Cameras zoomed in. This wasn't just another petty argument. This was personal. Mendeecees tried to step between them. Yandy, calm down. Let's talk about this outside. But it was too late. Years of bottled up emotion, the weight of loyalty, love, and public judgment, it all hit at once. Yandy's hands shook, her voice breaking. You of all people, Karlie? After everything you've been through, you still out here trying to destroy another woman's peace? Karlie's face twisted with guilt and pride all at once. It wasn't like that. He texted me first, and it was just jokes. Yandy's jaw clenched. You don't joke with married men, period. The table shifted as Rashida hurried over, trying to calm them both down. Y'all, Not here. Come on, people got cameras out. But the energy had already shifted. Guests were whispering, phones recording. The rooftop lights flickered across shocked faces. Karlie tried to explain again, her voice trembling. Yandy, I swear, before she could finish, Yandy snapped. Save it. You're always in somebody else's business, stirring up drama for attention. But this time, you came for mine. The confrontation escalated, voices raised, tears forming, glasses tipping over. Jock grabbed Karlie's arm, pulling her back while Rashida held Yandy in place. Yandy's eyes burned with hurt, not rage. You think this is about ratings, Karlie? This is my family. For a moment, Karlie looked broken, speechless. I didn't mean for it to look like that. But Mendeecees' silence said it all. He wasn't denying. He wasn't defending. He just stood there, caught between two storms. The night ended in chaos, security stepping in. Producers rushing to pull everyone apart. Guests whispering that this might be the biggest blow-up of the season, as Yandy was escorted out. Tears streaming down her face. She looked back one last time. The cameras caught her whispering under her breath. Atlanta, don't break me. I break through it. And just like that, the scene faded to black, the city lights shimmering beneath the weight of betrayal. The next morning, Atlanta woke up buzzing. The rooftop drama had already leaked across every blog, gossip page. And fan forum in the city, clips from the confrontation were everywhere. Shaky phone videos of Yandy standing face-to-face with Karlie. Eyes burning, words cutting through the air. You don't joke with married men. Had already become a viral sound on TikTok. Hashtags were trending. Hashtag YandyVs KARLIE. Hashtag Mendeecees. Hashtag LHHATL drama. And in the middle of it all, Yandy sat in her kitchen, scrolling through the chaos. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Producers, friends, and even strangers were reaching out, all wanting the same thing, her side of the story. But Yandy wasn't ready to talk. Not yet. She needed to breathe. Mendeecees sat across the table, guilt written across his face. You ain't even going to say good morning? He asked softly. Yandy didn't look up. You really think it's morning for me after what happened last night? He exhaled slowly. Yandy, you gotta believe me. It wasn't like that. Karlie hit me up about an event. That's all. Yandy looked at him, her eyes cold and tired. Then why, she said, don't tell Yandy I said that? You think I don't know what that means? He rubbed his hands together nervously. She'll always be playing. You know how Karlie is. Yeah, Yandy said bitterly. Flirty, messy. And you entertained it. Her voice cracked on the last word. The pain wasn't just about the texts. It was about the reminder. The same wounds she thought had healed were bleeding again, live on camera. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was? Everyone saw Mendeecees. Everyone. He sighed. You're right. I messed up. But you've got to believe me. Nothing physical happened. I shut that down quick. Yandy stared at him for a long moment. Her heart wanted to believe him, but her mind replayed every scene from last night like a movie on loop. I don't even know what's worse, Jay said quietly. That you did it, or that you didn't even think about what it would do to me. Meanwhile, Yandy's eyes darkened. I'm not running from her. If she want to talk, we'll talk. But she gone do it face to face, not behind a screen. That's exactly what she did later that week. The producers arranged a sit-down between Yandy and Karlie at a neutral location, a chic Atlanta lounge that had seen more tears than cocktails. Karlie arrived first, visibly nervous. She sat at the table, hands clasped, eyes darting toward the door every few seconds. When Yandy finally walked in, the room went still. She was composed, calm, and radiant, but her eyes still carried the weight of last week's storm. Karlie started immediately. Yandy, I just want to say, Yandy held up a hand. No, you're going to listen first. Karlie froze. Yandy leaned forward, voice steady but fierce. You embarrassed me. You crossed a line that no woman should cross. And I don't care how playful you think you were being when you text another woman's husband like that. You know what you're doing?" Karlie's eyes filled with tears. "Yandy, I swear I wasn't trying to come between y'all. And why keep it secret?" Yandy asked. "Why say, 'Don't tell Yandy'?" "You knew?" Karlie's voice broke. "Because I didn't want to cause drama." Yandy laughed softly, shaking her head. "Karlie, you are drama." The table fell silent. Finally, Karlie whispered, "I'm sorry. For real. I messed up." Yandy stared at her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Apology accepted. But don't confuse forgiveness with friendship." She stood up, grabbed her purse, and walked away. Karlie sat there, tears streaming, cameras capturing every emotion. For once, she had nothing to say. For a few days, everything seemed to settle, at least on the surface. Yandy had made it clear that the line was crossed. The boundary was set, and Karlie had apologized publicly and privately. But peace in Atlanta never lasts long. Not when pride and pain lingered just beneath the glitter. Yandy returned to filming her business scenes, trying to focus on rebuilding her energy. The cameras followed her as she worked with her charity team, helping young women start fresh after hard times, a reflection of her own life perhaps. On screen, she looked strong, radiant, untouchable. But behind that calm, her heart was still tangled in disappointment. She'd forgiven Karlie, sure, but forgetting? That was a different story. Late one evening, as the city lights painted the skyline gold, Mendeecees came home to find Yandy sitting on the couch, scrolling through old photos. She didn't look up when he walked in. "You still mad?" he asked carefully, setting his keys down. She sighed. "Mad, no. Just disappointed." Mendeecees sat beside her, guilt heavy in his voice. "I know I let you down, Yandy. I should have shut it down the second she sent that first message." Yandy nodded slowly. "Yeah, you should have." He rubbed his face, frustrated. "But I didn't cheat. I didn't step out. It was words, dumb words that meant nothing." She looked at him then, her eyes sharp but calm. "You don't get it, Mendeecees. For women like us, words mean everything. We hold families together with our words. We build peace, trust, loyalty, all with words. So when those same words start floating between you and somebody else, it breaks something inside me." He stared at her, silent. The truth in her tone hit harder than any argument ever could. She stood up, walking toward the window. "I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just asking you to protect us. Because I've fought too hard for this family to lose it to another woman's curiosity." Mendeecees walked up behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. "You're right. I'm gonna do better. I promise." Yandy exhaled, her eyes softening just a little. "We'll see." But while Yandy tried to heal privately, Karlie was dealing with her own storm. Her apology clip had gone viral, and not in the way she hoped. Fans called it fake, forced, and performative. Blogs accused her of stirring up drama for relevance. Even some of her castmates started pulling away at her boutique. Karlie sat behind the counter scrolling through the comments, her eyes watering. For once, she wasn't angry, she was hurt. Rashida walked in, arms crossed. "Girl, you okay?" Karlie sniffled. "I can't take this. They mackined me out to be this monster. I said I was sorry." Rashida sighed and sat beside her. "Karlie, you know how this goes. You make one bad move and the whole world wanna drag you. But you gotta own it. Not defend it, own it." Karlie looked up, wiping her tears. "I thought I did." Rashida shook her head. "Not yet. You said sorry to Yandy, but you didn't really show it. Words are easy, remember?" That hit Karlie deep. The next day, producers arranged a group event, a charity brunch hosted by Rashida, inviting all the ladies to come together for a cause. Akeen, Atlanta. That phrase usually meant drama disguised as peace. Yandy arrived first, poised and elegant. She wore white, calm, pure, untouchable. Karlie arrived later, in bright red, a statement that screamed apology and confidence all at once. The tension was instant. Rashida took the mic, smiling nervously. "Okay, ladies, today we're not here for shade. We're here for support, for sisterhood. Let's leave the mess outside." The audience laughed softly. Everyone knew how hard that was going to be. As the brunch went on, Yandy stayed polite but distant. Karlie tried to engage, but the wall was still up. Then came the moment no one expected. During a Q&A session, a fan asked Karlie from the audience, if you could take back one thing from this season, what would it be? Karlie paused, glancing at Yandy. Honestly, I'd take back that text. Not because I'm scared of Yandy, but because I respect her. She's one of the realest women in this city, and I hurt her when she didn't deserve it. The room went quiet. Yandy looked surprised, even touched. Karlie continued, voice trembling slightly. I've spent years being messy, chasing stories for the cameras, and it's made me lose real friends. I don't want to be that woman no more. The applause started slowly, then grew louder. Even Yandy found herself clapping softly, but sincerely. After the event, the two women met outside, away from the cameras. Karlie smiled faintly. You didn't have to clap for me, you know. Yandy shrugged. I wasn't clapping for you. I was clapping for growth. They both laughed. Not loud, but genuine. Karlie took a deep breath. You really think we could ever be cool again? Yandy thought for a moment. Cool, maybe one day. But right now, I just need peace. Karlie nodded slowly. I get that. The two hugged briefly, not as friends, but as women who had been through too much to keep fighting as they parted ways. Yandy walked to her car, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. The sunset stretched across the skyline, painting Atlanta in soft orange light. But just as she reached her car, her phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. You think Karlie the only one texting your man? Yandy froze. The camera zoomed in on her face, confusion turning into disbelief. The screen faded to black, and the words appeared across the screen. The text message replayed in Yandy's head like a siren. You think Karlie the only one texting your man? She stood frozen beside her car, the city lights flickering off the screen of her phone. Her chest tightened as questions spiraled through her mind. Was this another setup? A cruel prank? Or had she only scratched the surface of something deeper, something darker? Mendeecees' mistakes had already torn through her trust once before. But she had fought too hard, loved too deeply, to let rumors define her again. Still, that message hit her like a wound reopened. She quickly screenshotted it, then called Rashida. Rash, she said, voice trembling. I just got a message from an unknown number. Someone trying to tell me there's more. Rashida's tone sharpened instantly. More what? More women. Rashida went quiet. Girl, don't jump to conclusions. You sure it's not some random troll trying to start something? Yandy exhaled shakily. I don't know, but I'm not about to sit back and find out the hard way. Within the hour, Yandy was back home, pacing, angry, hurt, but controlled. She wasn't the kind of woman who threw fits. She calculated, she planned. When Mendeecees walked through the door, she didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just handed him the phone. Care to explain this? He glanced at the message, confused. What's this supposed to mean? That's what I'm asking you. I don't know. Probably one of them blog people trying to stir stuff up. Yandy folded her arms. You said that last time. Its frustration grew. Yandy, you gotta stop letting these rumors get in your head. She stepped closer, eyes locked on his. Rumors start from somewhere, Mendeecees. They don't just appear out of thin air. They don't just appear out of thin air. The room pulsed with silence. Finally, Mendeecees muttered, You don't trust me anymore? Yandy laughed bitterly. Trust? You let Karlie Red text you. You looked good last night and I'm supposed to trust you. You put us on blast in front of the world. So, no, Mendeecees. Trust left the chat a long time ago. He lowered his gaze. You really think I'd risk everything we built? She whispered almost to herself. I don't know what to think anymore. Meanwhile, across town, Karlie Red was sitting with Kendra and Rashida at a small cafe, the tension thick. The clip from the brunch had aired, and fans were beginning to soften toward her. But Karlie couldn't shake the feeling that things weren't over. When Rashida's phone buzzed, she frowned. Oh no, y'all ain't gonna like this. Kendra leaned in. What happened now? Rashida showed them a post from a gossip page. Anonymous source claims. Yandy's man still talking to another woman. Details coming soon. Karlie's eyes widened. You think it's about me again? Rashida shook her head. No, this one sounds different. Somebody out there trying to play with Yandy's peace again. Kendra sighed. That girl don't deserve that. She handled this whole thing better than most. Karlie bit her lip. Maybe I should check on her. Rashida looked at her sharply. Not right now. You the last person she need to see showing up at her door. Karlie nodded reluctantly. Yeah, you're right. Later that evening, Yandy met with Erica Mena, one of the few women who knew how to separate TV from real life. They sat in a quiet lounge, cameras rolling softly in the background. Erica sipped her drink. Listen, sis, you've been through hell and back, and every time you came out stronger. Don't let no random message break your peace again. If he's lying, the truth gone, come out. It always does. Yandy smiled faintly. You sound like someone who's been there. Erica chuckled. Too many times. They both laughed, the heaviness easing for a moment. Then Erica leaned forward. You want to know what I think? I think Karlie was just the distraction. Somebody else trying to test your patience? Yandy tilted her head. You think someone set me up? Wouldn't be the first time on Love and Hip Hop, Erica said. Yandy's mind started spinning again. The thought of another woman, another betrayal, another headline, it made her stomach twist. But this time, she refused to crumble. 2 nights later, the production team gathered the main cast for an honest talk dinner, part intervention, part reunion. The cameras captured every emotion, every stare. Yandy sat across from Mendeecees, her arms folded. Karlie sat on the opposite side, avoiding eye contact. Rashida and Jock played the middle ground. Trying to keep things civil, the producer's voice came from off-camera. Yandy Mendeecees, fans want to know where do things stand now? Yandy exhaled deeply. Where we stand. We stand in truth. Whatever it is, I just want honesty. I don't need perfect. I need real. Karlie, breaking her silence, said softly, Yandy, I meant what I said before. I didn't mean to hurt you. And I don't know who's sending those messages, but if it helps clear your name, I'll help you find out who it is. The table went silent. Even Mendeecees looked surprised. You'd do that? Yandy asked cautiously. Karlie nodded. Yeah, because I'm tired of being the villain. I messed up, but this don't feel like me. Somebody playing both of us. And for the first time since the fight, Yandy believed her. Over the next few scenes, the women worked together, piecing together screenshots, messages, and suspicious accounts. Finally, they traced the number back to an anonymous PR intern connected to one of the show's rival producers. Someone who'd been feeding false stories to blogs to boost ratings. When Yandy found out, she laughed bitterly. So all this pain, all this drama, was for views. Karlie nodded. Welcome to Atlanta, baby. The 2 women shared a long, knowing look. One that said, we've both been burned by this game, by the final scene. Yandy was seen packing up her office late at night. Mendeecees entered quietly, holding a small bouquet. Still mad? He asked softly. She smiled faintly. No, just tired. He stepped closer. Tired enough to stop fighting me. She looked at him, the exhaustion fading from her eyes. Only if you start fighting for me again. He took her hand. Deal. The music swelled, the city lights glowing through the window as the credits rolled. The narrator's voice returned, smooth, deep, and reflective in Atlanta. Loyalty isn't measured by how loud you fight, but how quietly you heal. Yandy learned that sometimes strength isn't about walking away, it's about standing tall when the world tries to knock you down. And Karlie, even the messiest hearts can find redemption when they choose truth over drama. The final shot zoomed out over the city skyline as the text appeared. Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, Season 13, has just begun. And that was just the beginning of another chapter in Atlanta's never-ending story for Yandy. This wasn't just about a fight. It was about reclaiming her peace in a world that profits from her pain. She walked through betrayal, whispers, and cameras that never stop rolling. But somehow, she came out standing stronger and softer all at once. Karlie, too, found herself stripped of the spotlight, forced to face her mistakes, but also her humanity. In a city built on drama, these women proved that growth can be louder than gossip. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has always shown us that fame comes with a price sometimes. That price is trust. And yet, behind every headline is a woman still trying to love, still trying to heal, still trying to rise above the noise. So, what do you think? Was Yandy right to confront Karlie the way she did? Or do you think there's more to this story than what the cameras caught? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice keeps the story vault alive. If you felt this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next episode is coming fast, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens when loyalty gets tested again. Until next time. Remember, in Atlanta, the lights may fade, the love may change, but the story always continues. Always continues.